Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here. We're at it again. This is the second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. If you want to follow along with the community's questions, we try to get to about 5 to 6 each day on Saturdays and Sundays every single week, and we've been doing this now for about 8 years. So if you want to check it out, all the shows, all the previous shows, and you can actually search for topics that interest you, head on over to stephencabral.com/podcasts. And today's show, if you want to go right to today's questions, head on over to stephencabral.com/2732. All right. I want to dive right into the questions today. Each and every week, these come from the community. And again, I think that the best use of our time is for me to dive right into it. So that's what we're going to do. First question is from Linda. And Linda asks, hello, I can't run due to injuries. I use a stationary bike for cardio. How can I do the VO2 max test with a stationary bike? Thank you. It's a great question. You know, I just taught this in high performance health in module, I want to say it was module 4. Yes, module 4, I think it was on exercise for longevity, on living past 100 healthily. And we talk about the VO2 max, and you're right, it is mainly running based. And the reason is it's the gold standard for testing, besides actually going into a fitness center to have your VO2 test, your VO2 max tested. So for anybody who doesn't know what this is, basically it's cardiovascular fitness level, your VO2 max. That's basically it. And the higher the number, typically the better. So here's what you can do. As a one-off, like if you don't want to really think about it, it's about $150. And you can run it at a lot of different centers. And all you need to do is type in VO2 max test and then something like Boston, Massachusetts. And it will show you all the centers around you that you could pay $100, $150 to go in, and you can run a very simple 15-minute test. All right, so that's one way. Let's say that you want to do it on your own. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create a podcast for you, Linda, because I think this will help the HPH community as well. If you don't know what HPH is, you can go to highperformancehealth.org. That is for people who want to learn how to live to 100 healthily and use all the different anti-aging and biological age testing and all the amazing things that we're learning about that we already know that come from Ayurvedic medicine and then health tech and so much more. Okay, so I'm going to actually dedicate a podcast to this, and I will teach you how to do it at home. So you need a stationary bike. I recommend an upright bike, not the one where you're leaned back against a seat, because there's more mechanical work that can be done. But I'm going to teach you how you can maintain a certain heart rate for a certain period of time, producing a certain amount of watts. So your steady state, your cardio bike, your upright bike or recumbent bike needs to show watts. And then what I'll do is I'll do it on a Friday review. Why don't I do that? All right. I'll try to do it next Friday if I can. All right. So I'll try to do this next Friday for the show for you, Linda, how to test your VO2 max on a stationary bike using a specific chart. And it's about 6 minutes of work. All right, so I'll teach you how to do that. Thanks, Linda, for writing in. That's actually going to help a lot of people, because there's a lot of people who can't run due to injuries, knee pain, back pain, ankles, etc. All right, Jen's up next. I'm getting dyshidrosis on my hands, and it seems to be spreading. What are some root causes of this, and where should I start in treating this? Oh, that's interesting. I think I've talked about this before. You can always check if I've talked about the topic by searching at stephencabral.com/podcast. There's a search box. You know, remember, there's 2,732 other shows, right, besides today's. So you can definitely check it out there. Now, if you ever can't find a show, you might want to ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. That's a free coaching group. You can just ask questions. That's our private community. It's like 25,000 people and growing all the time inside that group. So feel free to ask. We'll try to find the show for you. And then, of course, if there isn't, that's what Ask Cabral is all about. That's why I'm here to help. So dyshidrosis is they're basically like cysts or bubbles that you get on your skin, oftentimes between the fingers, that are itchy, they're annoying, they irritate you. I even got them myself way back in the day in my early 20s. And I remember the itchiness being the worst part. And they're almost like water retention, which is kind of where the hydrosis comes from. So what I found is this, through all of my research, they're a form of an allergy. And you can get it from things that you touch. So it could be soap that you're using, detergent that you're using, chemicals at your work. It could be any of those. Okay. The second, it could be too much antibacterial soap use. I used to use antibacterial soap in the shower. I used to use antibacterial soap in like at my sink at my own home. Like I just thought, bad bacteria, get rid of it. Use antibacterial everything. It actually destroys the skin microbiome. Now, the other thing that it could be is yeast overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, food sensitivities. So it's funny, I don't even always recommend this, but on yesterday's show, I talked about the big three. And for you, I'd recommend the same. The big three is digestive tests, the stool test, the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and the food sensitivity test from an IgG perspective. And you can find those at stevencabral.com/shop. So that's what I would do for sure. Temporarily, what could you do? Okay, a baking soda hand bath, an Epsom salt, bath for your hands. You just fill up your sink with either one of those and kind of cleanse them in that. You could, I think I even recommended this on yesterday's show. Little coconut oil with tea tree would be fine as a natural antimicrobial. And then, of course, look at your food sensitivities, look at chemical sensitivities, those types of things as well. All right? Hopefully that's helpful, at least to get started. Again, I have to give you my disclaimer. I can't provide you with any medical diagnosis, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical advice in any way. I'm here to try to help you find the underlying root causes, which is really what we all need to be doing. Sandra is up next. Hello, Dr. Paul. I'm a 45-year-old woman, and lately I've been waking up drenched in sweat in the middle of the night. What could be the cause, and what can I do about it? I'm a 45-year-old woman with a healthy plant-based lifestyle, regular strength training, and regular menstruation. Thanks so much for your feedback. I really appreciate it. Happy to help Sandra. So this is not uncommon. I've worked with, it has to be personally, with well over 1,000 women who have all suffered from some form of hormonal-based dysregulation, which has caused nighttime sweating. So there's only so many causes of nighttime sweating. One is hormonal, the other is parasite, and the other is viral-based infection, right? Inflammation. So those are the three main. There are others, but those are the three main. So let's say it's not parasites. Okay, so we check that one off. You're welcome to run a bacteria and parasite stool test. That's at stevencabral.com/shop. That's what we use in our practice. Whenever I mention a lab or a product or anything, do feel free to always work with your local naturopathic doctor or with an integrative health practitioner as well. So again, always feel free to do that. I'm just giving you what I do in my practice, and you're welcome to copy it, whatever works for you, honestly. So what I want to share is this. Let's say it's not a parasite. Let's say it's not a virus or infection. Then really, for the most part, it's hormonal. Now, it can be high levels of stress, which is elevating levels of cortisol. That could cause sweating at night. It could be a drop in blood sugar, hypoglycemia, which is then dysregulating cortisol again, right? To spike blood sugar levels. That's just how it works, right? To get your blood sugar up. Okay, there's that. There's also, between the ages of 45 and 55 for most women, there's moving into menopause. Not menopause, but a period of time where hormones are a bit dysregulated. And I'm not saying this is happening to you, but you might want to run a lab called the Stress, Mood, and Metabolism Test. And you'd run it certainly around days 19, 20, or 21 of your cycle to see if you have higher levels of estrogen and lower levels of progesterone. Because if you do, that's the most likely cause of night sweats that we see in our practice. So then what we do is we help to balance estrogen and progesterone in order to find that right ratio. Naturally, we do it without hormone replacement therapy. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, Tom is up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. My son is 26 and suffers with severe OCD to the point where it's debilitating and it affects his relationship with his girlfriend hugely. He is always interrogating her, asking, "What did you mean by that comment?" At the most insignificant things, and I can see it's killing both him and her because he can't help it. He's had these OCD traits since he was a young boy, but they seem to worsen significantly after the COVID vaccine, where he began to develop health anxiety too. He is also covered in tattoos, smokes, and vapes daily. I was thinking maybe heavy metals. I'm trying to convince him that lifestyle has an impact on neurotransmitters and mental health, but he won't listen. Is there any info on lifestyle, diet, and OCD? Thanks so much. Happy to help with this. I've done many shows on OCD. I myself, I don't like to get too deep into it, but when I was young and I was incredibly sick, I absolutely had OCD, like without a doubt. And it only further complicated my life. We'll put it that way. I didn't need one more thing, and I had one more thing. So how did I ultimately get rid of it? Again, I hate to belabor it, but the de-stress protocol. But I used the de-stress protocol to fix what was wrong with me, which was candida overgrowth and bacterial overgrowth and H. pylori in my gut, leaky gut, high levels of mercury in my body, combined with a type A perfectionist go mindset, pitta mindset, essentially in Ayurveda. I had to fix all of that. And when I fixed all of that, and I took the right supplements to help me methylate properly, my methylation-based issues, I was able to, slowly but surely, get rid of all my health issues and OCD. So the interesting thing is this: a healthy body can't be sick. And I share that all the time. So if something's wrong with you, well, your body's not completely healthy. Now, I'm not coming down on you in any way, but it's just the truth. So then it's fun though. It's like you can make this a journey. So then the goal is to say, well, if something's wrong with me, a healthy body can't be sick. So all I need to do is get healthy, which then gives you hope. Because a healthy body can't be imbalanced. So you look for the imbalances. So what I say to you, your son's 26 years old. He should absolutely run the Big 5 plus the bacterial and parasite stool test if able to. If he's not, then at least run the starter kit. And the starter kit will look at metals, digestion, mitochondrial function, vitamin levels, mineral levels, right? And it'll get a whole plan that comes with it. So I can't recommend that enough because I can't tell you exactly what he needs right now. But once I see those labs, for sure I can, right? For sure I can. Because again, we all suffer from imbalances of deficiencies. We have too little of something, or we have too much of something. So there's a physical body reset that we have to do. And then we need to do things like meditation or walking or mindfulness. Like it's just what we need to do. But I found that those practices are so much easier when your body gets healthier. When I tried to meditate, when I was like, I don't even know, 20 years old, 21 years old, I just fell asleep every single time because my body was so exhausted. When my body got healthier, meditation was actually easier because I didn't pass out right away, right? So it's like, do both. They all matter. So, Tom, I hope that that's helpful. Okay, let's do one more question today, and it's from Anonymous. Hi, Dr. Ball. I sincerely appreciate all the work you do in supporting others through information about natural intervention. I wanted to ask you about herpes outbreaks. I listened to your podcast 760 several times. You speak about how to treat cold sores topically, and I wondered if you could advise on treating herpes sores on genital areas topically. I've read a lot about lemon balm. Do you have any advice for what can be used to ease sores? Many thanks. Okay, so on that podcast, episode 760, I think it was that, right? How to destroy viruses, and that includes herpes. Let's just make sure it was that. I don't usually go online during my shows because I like to stay focused on you, your question, give you all my undivided attention. But I also need to make sure that, yeah, that's it, 760. So if someone's dealing with herpes or shingles or a virus or cold sores, listen to that show. It's a show that dates back 5 years, more than 5 years, but it's just as pertinent today as it was 5 years ago, and it will still be pertinent 10 years from now because the things in natural health that work in the underlying root causes, okay? So here's the thing. There are so many things that you can do topically, right? So topically, you talked about lemon balm. So on that show, I talk about lysine. I talk about grapefruit seed extract. I talk about coconut oil. I talk about ACV, apple cider vinegar. All of those do work. But there are also, so there's so many things that can work though. Like that's the amazing thing. So if the ones that you're using topically, like for a mouth cold sore, don't work on genital herpes and sores, you can also try essential oils. And some of those essential oils that have been proven to work, and I'll do a whole podcast on this as well, Anonymous, but have been proven to work are lemon balm, tea tree, and peppermint oil. So we know that the combination of those three, like you were just saying yourself, you've heard about lemon balm. Yes, lemon balm, tea tree, peppermint essential oils seem to work remarkably well for cold sores anywhere on the body. So I definitely recommend looking into those. The cold sores and herpes is a big topic, and I haven't talked about the topic for over 5 years. No, shouldn't say that. I've talked about, of course, viruses on all my viral-based shows. Yes, I've talked about that. But why don't I talk about cold sores specifically and dedicate a show to it, because I know how many people are suffering from herpes outbreaks, all right? So thank you, Anonymous, for bringing this up. I appreciate all of you in the community. You're amazing. I thank you. The show wouldn't be here 8+ years later if it wasn't for you tuning in, rating the show, reviewing the show, and subscribing to the show. So if you don't mind doing that right now, I very much thank you. That is what I very much look forward to, seeing how maybe in some small way it's helped you and others as well. All right, take care, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow on our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.